Everyone. Today, hope everyone is okay. Today, we are going to talk about the primary and secondary adrenal insufficiency. So, first, let's talk about a general idea and how and why they are different adrenal insufficiencies. So now, first we have kidneys, and on top of them, we have the adrenal glands. So one is here, one is on the right, one is on the left, and then in the brain we have the pituitary gland, and on top of it is a hypothalamus. So the pituitary kind of releases ACTH, and then acts on the adrenals, and the adrenals then produce in response to ACTH cortisol. Okay, and then there is another like renin, a hormone which is not a pituitary hormone. It's actually released from the kidneys, and it regulates another hormone called the spironolactone, the aldosterone. So the regulation of aldosterone is from renin, and the regulation of cortisol is from ACTH. So that is why this is the reason that the primary and secondary are different in presentation. And so the aldosterone level is just regulated by the serum potassium levels and the renin, while this is regulated by ACTH. And so now let's first talk about the primary adrenal insufficiency. So primary adrenal insufficiency means that the adrenal glands themselves have like some defect, so they cannot make the hormones, or they may be destroyed. Like, for example, Waterhouse-Friderichsen syndrome, which occurs in which is a complication of disseminated Neisseria infection, and then another cause is like autoimmune. Autoimmune is most common in the developed countries, while the tuberculosis is the most common cause in developing countries. So these are causes of the primary adrenal insufficiency, and so when the cortisol is not produced, the pituitary is going to sense that and result in increased amount of ACTH. Now ACTH will then cause hyperpigmentation. So now when ACTH level is increased, it's actually gonna cause hyperpigmentation. So now, how does that happen? So now, first is the ACTH is not formed as ACTH, like it's not pre-made ACTH. It's actually initially formed as pro-opiomelanocortin. It is then divided into different parts or segments, and one of them is ACTH. But there is one more, and that is the melanocyte stimulating hormone. There are also other like opioids that are produced, but these two are the main that we're concerned with here. So now, when MSH level is increased, it will act on the cells, on the skin cells, on the melanocytes in the skin, and it will result in increased amount of melanin. Increased melanin is what gives you the hyperpigmentation. So now, first thing is hyperpigmentation that is associated with primary adrenal insufficiency is hyperpigmentation. So then number second is we need to know about aldosterone. So now aldosterone acts at in the kidneys, on the nephron, in the distal tubule, in the collecting ducts, and so in the alpha cells, and the alpha intercalated cells, and the principal cells. So now what it does is that it increases excretion of potassium, it increases excretion of acid or proton, and also increases reabsorption of sodium. So now here in the primary, the adrenal cannot make any hormone. So cortisol is gone, aldosterone is gone, and also the androgens are also gone, but that's not really significant. So the aldosterone is gone, cortisol is gone. When the aldosterone is gone here, then acid cannot be excreted, so it results in acidosis. Potassium cannot be excreted. This results in hyperkalemia, and it cannot be retained. That can result in hyponatremia. So now the other things that happen here would be hyperkalemia and hyponatremia. So Now that was all about the primary. Now the secondary is different in a way that there is a defect in the pituitary and the hypothalamus. So these two are kind of, for example, destroyed by trauma, tumor, or infection. Like craniopharyngioma is a tumor that can cause it. So so that and most common cause is actually chronic steroid use. When steroids are used for prolonged period, it results in decreased ACTH, and that will result in secondary adrenal insufficiency. So now, when secondary adrenal insufficiency occur, there is basically decreased ACTH, and when the ACTH is decreased, this will result in a rebound increase in adrenal hormones, because adrenal can form. It can result in not rebound increase in hormones. Sorry, that's there will be decreased decreased release and synthesis of adrenal hormones, but it will not have much effect on aldosterone because it is regulated by renin. The ACTH does have a permissive role, but aldosterone level will not be that affected. So now, when ACTH level are low, this will not result in hyperpigmentation in the secondary one, and the aldosterone also normal. The function, everything is intact, and so the hyperkalemia, it will not happen. So now so that leaves us with two things that are, when you see, you should just pick you should straight away pick primary adrenal insufficiency, and that is hyperkalemia and hyperpigmentation. You won't see these in the secondary one. So hope this helped with the differences between the two. And the adrenal insufficiency actually presents with abdominal pain and nausea and vomiting, really. So that's just like a general presentation. So, but these two are the main differences: hyperkalemia and hyperpigmentation. So, hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching.